It was a quiet morning in a small, modest apartment complex in Houston, Texas. The Ahmed family, Yusuf, his wife Leyla, and their two young children, Amina and Omar, were starting another day of struggle. They had fled the war-torn streets of Aleppo, Syria, seeking safety and a chance to rebuild their lives in the United States. Yet, what they found was a new set of challenges they hadn't anticipated. In Syria, Yusuf had been a respected schoolteacher, and Leyla, a dedicated homemaker, had nurtured their children with love and care. The war had stripped them of everything. Their home was reduced to rubble, their friends and neighbors scattered, and their future uncertain. The family's perilous journey across borders was marked by hunger, fear, and the loss of the little savings they had managed to take with them. The journey to the United States was anything but smooth. The family had to cross treacherous terrain, often hiding from dangers under the cover of darkness. Yusuf carried Omar on his shoulders while Leyla clutched Amina's hand tightly, fearing they might lose each other in the chaos. They spent weeks in overcrowded refugee camps, surviving on minimal rations and holding on to the hope of a better future. Finally, arriving in the United States, they thought the worst was behind them. But the reality of starting over was harsh. Yusuf's qualifications meant little without American certification, and Leyla spoke only a few words of English. Their apartment was cramped and damp, with peeling wallpaper and a constant chill that seemed to seep into their bones. The children struggled to adapt to school, often teased for their accents and clothing. Yusuf took on odd jobs, cleaning offices at night and collecting recyclables during the day. Leyla spent her time ensuring the children had enough to eat, though the cupboards often held little more than rice and beans. Despite their efforts, bills piled up, and the threat of eviction loomed. Leyla would cry silently at night, shielding her children from her despair. Yusuf's shoulders grew heavier with every passing day, burdened by the weight of providing for his family. Angelina Jolie, known not just for her Hollywood stardom but for her humanitarian work, was attending a private meeting with a refugee aid organization. Among the many stories of hardship, one stood out: the Ahmed family. Their tale of resilience and quiet dignity moved her deeply. "How are they coping?" Jolie asked the aid worker. "Barely," the worker admitted. "The father's doing everything he can, but they're on the brink of losing everything. The mother's health is deteriorating, and the children's education is at risk." Jolie's face hardened with determination. "I want to meet them," she said. The Ahmed family's apartment doorbell rang early one morning. Leyla opened the door, expecting a neighbor or perhaps a bill collector. Instead, there stood Angelina Jolie, dressed simply in jeans and a white blouse, her eyes filled with kindness. "Hello, I'm Angelina," she said, extending her hand. "I've heard your story and I'd like to help." Leyla was speechless, her mind racing to comprehend the moment. She ushered Jolie inside, apologizing for the apartment's condition. Jolie waved it off, sitting on the worn sofa and listening intently as Yusuf and Leyla shared their story. Amina and Omar peeked out from behind a curtain, their curiosity overcoming their shyness. Jolie's eyes welled up as she listened. "You've endured so much," she said, "but you don't have to face this alone anymore." As she looked around the apartment, Jolie noticed the sparse furnishings and the children's makeshift toys made of scraps. A single bulb illuminated the living room, casting long shadows that seemed to mirror the family's struggles. It was clear they were holding on by a thread. Jolie wasted no time. She connected Yusuf with a local non-profit that offered job placement services for refugees. Within weeks, Yusuf secured a stable position at a community center, teaching math to underprivileged children. Leyla was enrolled in an English language program, where she quickly began to gain confidence in her ability to communicate. Jolie also arranged for the children to receive scholarships at a private school, ensuring they could learn in a supportive environment free from bullying. New clothes, school supplies, and even a few toys appeared in their apartment, brightening the children's days. For the first time in months, the Ahmed family felt a glimmer of hope. Jolie didn't stop there. She advocated for better housing for the family, coordinating with local agencies to find a safer and more comfortable apartment. When the family moved into their new home, Amina exclaimed, "It feels like a palace." Omar ran through the rooms, his laughter echoing off freshly painted walls. The changes were slow but steady. Yusuf's new job allowed him to provide for his family without the constant fear of falling short. He even began saving for the future. Leyla made friends at her language school and found joy in simple conversations with neighbors. Amina and Omar thrived academically, their teachers praising their intelligence and determination. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, Yusuf looked around the table and smiled. The laughter of his children and the warmth of his wife's presence reminded him of the life they had lost and the new one they were building. Amina shared a story about her new best friend, while Omar excitedly talked about his school's soccer team. Yusuf turned to Leyla and said, "This is what we've always dreamed of: a home, happiness, and hope." Months later, Jolie returned to visit the Ahmed family. This time, the apartment was filled with light and life. Amina proudly showed Jolie her latest school project, while Omar demonstrated his new basketball skills. Leyla served tea, her English noticeably improved, and Yusuf spoke of his plans to earn his teaching certification in the U.S. "You've come so far," Jolie said, her voice tinged with emotion. "Your strength and love for each other are incredible." Before leaving, Jolie handed Leyla a small box. Inside was a necklace with a pendant shaped like a dove. "This is a symbol of peace and freedom," Jolie said. "Wear it as a reminder of how far you've come." Leyla hugged her tightly, tears streaming down her face. The story of the Ahmed family serves as a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the impact of compassion. In the closing moments of the video, Jolie addresses the audience directly. Every family deserves a chance to thrive. The Ahmed's journey shows us that even the smallest acts of kindness can create ripples that change lives. Together, we can make the world a better place. Support refugee families, lend a helping hand, and remember, humanity starts with all of us. Her voice softened as she added, "When we extend our hands to others, we find a piece of ourselves in their struggles and victories." The Ahmed family story is not just about survival. It's about the power of hope and the strength that lies within each of us to uplift others. Let's choose kindness every day, for it's in those moments that we truly define what it means to be human. Every act of kindness matters. Be the change you wish to see. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this story. Your time and attention mean the world. If this story moved you, please consider sharing it to spread the message of hope and compassion. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the good we can achieve together. Let's make kindness contagious.